Well, Happy New Year, everybody. Boy, it's been a busy New Year's Eve for me. I had a lot going on today, and it's been really wonderful. I'm getting ready for the new year, new plans on the book. Having a lot of fun with precision agriculture and the things going through there. I revisited my journals from the old day. I had to go back through my totes and get my journals, and one of the things that was really cool that we had worked out for the fan was kind of unusual. You remember I told you about bird flapping wings and stuff like that, and we'll go into it more, but that's the basic layout for it. And we're going to touch base, and I'll drill down in more detail, get better drawings for you from those work and kind of what it does. But as I promised, this is B for the day, and here we go. Sit back, relax. We're going to study the manta ray. I've got pictures where you can get a good idea of how that is coming together, and we're going to go more into props and get back to the 369 tangents in the upcoming videos. That's going to be on the second. I never ever hit a lick of work on the January 1, okay? I put a number 9 in my wallet, and the eat my black-eyed peas and cabbage, the luck and money, okay, and then a little superstition in there too. So we're getting ready to celebrate this evening. Got a little ways to go to do that, and got the fireplace lit. Here in Irving, Texas, it's rainy, it's cold, it's about 40 degrees. I say it's cold, it's cool. The wind blew this afternoon, and so it's been a good day to be in the shop and not out in the field, but people are shooting off fireworks, so I kind of feel good about it because there's no real chance of fire with all the rain we've had today. So grab you something cold and sit back, relax. We're going to get into tonight's show. This is the overall layout for the nacelles, and this is based on a 10. Now, I keep wanting to up it just a little bit, and I've got to do some more experimentation for my velocities and everything. And the stuff that we did in the lab with the metronomic propulsion system, and it's metronomic because it's asymmetrical, and it kind of imitates flapping wings, but we also added a ramjet component to the system, and I'll discuss that further. And after reviewing my notes, it kind of makes me feel like a whole lot smarter than when I started showing what I'm doing. This is the Lilium aircraft, and they're planning on using it for taxi service. Basically the same concept that we came up with years ago, and carbon fiber machine, and the weights and everything we discussed. If you go back to the first videos on this, you can see some of the original specs of the concept aircraft that we were doing. The just kind of sit back and relax and point out stuff. The manta ray, um, like I said earlier, they have lots of moving parts. You know, they can move and twist and do all kinds of fun things. The if you call that the canard, they can put the canard up, down, out, any way they want to, any configuration. It's pretty neat. They have gills, and their stomach is right here, and you'll see some pretty cool stuff as we move through the presentation. The they're a very, very slick animal. Very colorful. Uh, it's they're really beautiful as you look through them. If you're interested in the manta rays, study them. You can see other configuration with the canard. They even have a tail section there, and then of course their their stingray, or they're not. It's not really a stingray, but they're part of their tail section. The pilot fish like to swim with them, and they're just graceful, beautiful machines. Now, you remember I was telling you about the propeller. One of the secrets that they had through their gills is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't mean you need 10 blades. We chose 8 blades in the day for a reason, and we do have the torque with the Mogen to handle the thrust. And the whole thing is that with the pulse jet, and I've got to do a little bit more with the ramjet pulse jet work, but as I recall from the lab, we were able to get almost 64, 65 pounds of thrust at full throttle, but I've forgotten what the KW numbers were at the time. And haven't tested it with the Mogen and that kind of configuration, so I got to go back and pull those old props out and stuff that we did with that, and start working in the lab. And I think you'll find that interesting to see that part of it. You can see that they can close that mouth area up, and they can jump completely out of the water. They're just so beautiful to watch. There's 3 of them right there, and you can see all the different articulations they can do. And as I was saying, you can't mimic that kind of articulation with a machine. Living, thinking, intelligence can do that kind of stuff, but just so many things that we can pick up from the manta ray, and then streamlining it. See the pilot fish up here? They like to hang close. Big animal. They're just give you an idea of scale, and they actually get bigger than that. And notice he's holding a model of a manta ray in his hand, but they've been studied for years, and if you go back through history and look at them, they're just magnificent. And they've always fascinated me since I was a kid. Just wow. You can that's their gullet, and they can create a lot of suction when they need to eat. Just just really incredible. The they color, they're coloring black on top, white on the bottom, and they like to rest in the sand. But notice how the protrusion up there is. It's lots of drawings can be done, and my hand drawings and things in my notebooks of things that I studied back in those days. And I'm not an artist, okay? I'm an artist as far as being able to put lines to stuff and that kind of stuff, but I'm not a true artist. Most of my work in my day is handling over to people that are. I'm really good at taking field measurements and presenting those to CAD operators and letting them draw it up and then make the changes. But anyway, I want to talk just briefly about the propulsion system. And if you'll notice that the blades, this is an 8-bladed version, but the blades are not symmetrical all the way around it. Okay, people go, well, that's a balancing problem. No, it's not. Okay, the easy to dynamically balance and run smooth as silk. However, the propulsion, if you think about it, as it goes through, it's like flapping wings, because you got a short burst, long burst. We call that the dash burst. We call that the dash burst, and then the dot dash dot dash dot dash dash. Okay, so it's a pulsing. Okay. And they're set up symmetrically around on the 360 degrees. The blade angle coming across 136 degrees, and we'll get into the static ramjet part of the system in later videos. But this has a ramjet feature, which doesn't help you too much it does have a little bit of effect as far as the thrust. For vertical takeoff, but the ramjet feature, as it goes through, it actually hardens the air. Remember me talking about it is compressed, but the settings with the stators is it gives you a half a step. Actually, it's about a third step more. And so we were able to get the CF up in the lab much higher than most people realize, and I'll show you the tricks of the trade of doing that. So anyway, the metronomic is part of that, because when you're running at slower speeds with that dot dash, it almost sounds like a metronome within the system, and it's a sound that I'm very familiar with because I've been working with asymmetrical systems for a long time. So if you believe that everything has to be balanced, I'm not your guy. I take if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. And I was indoctrinated by electrical school. I had for what I do, I had to take my formal education, pitch that out of the window, and I had to really learn knowledge. Okay, so if you're indoctrinated, you're not going to like what I got to tell you. And I'm not a pie in the sky guy. There is no free energy. We can get the Q way up there. We can get performances much higher than what most people thought. Once you understand the keys to it, then you too can do it. It's just a different way of thinking. Just like when I had my original prototype motor wound up, the guy had been, I didn't personally wind that motor. I drew up what I wanted, and the motor wiring had been doing it for 45 years. And he goes, "That's not symmetrical." I go, "You're right." And he says, "Will it work?" And I said, "Yeah." And so he was very surprised to see how well it ran. And he said, "I learned something." And I said, "Well, you know, it's the way it is." But yeah, uh, uh, what I am showing you is state of the art. It's based on the 369 Nikola Tesla technology, and with the Mogen, people always say, you got to go with density batteries and stuff. Uh, my system works a little bit different, and I'll explain all that as we go through the later presentation. So get prepared if you're really wanting to learn things. I think this will be very good, and I'm able to share this now with you. All my NDAs that I had, I had many of them. Every time somebody says, "Well, you need an NDA to come visit me," I turn tail and run, because I don't want to be tied to another NDA. So I'm not going to share anything that would change the economy or anything. But there's some pretty cool things out there that I've personally witnessed, worked with in the lab, that I can tell you about. And this right here is the mathematical structure to get the picture of what I use. You can draw it up yourself, and you can start working with your angles and stuff. And it's kind of like a slide rule. And once you understand it, then you can scale up to build from the micro scale all the way to the macro scale and everything in between. So get prepared for learning more about the Manta. And if you guys are builders and flyers and stuff like that, get with it. Make your New Year's resolution to do the things that you truly want to do. God bless you. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope you're having fun, because we are. And be safe. Have a great evening, whatever you're doing, or tomorrow, or whenever you watch this. We are really blessed. So a lot of stuff that's coming up for the children that they're going to be doing. They have the technology and the understanding with working with other components. So it's going to be a great future for the young guys coming up. Be blessed, and I'll see you next trip. Bye.